Is that an issue to win an election November 3rd? Let's bring in Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congresswoman, welcome back.
Good to be with you.
Are you in support of what seems to be an all-out push to confirm before November 3rd?
Absolutely, we need to fill that seat. And most importantly, we need to follow the Constitution. The president has the constitutional duty to put forth a name, and the Senate can advise and consent. This is incredibly important to make sure that we follow the Constitution and we fill that seat, particularly going into an election year that is unprecedented with the amount of new decisions at the state level regarding mail-in ballots. You cannot have a 4-4 Supreme Court going into the election year. I think the three names that have been publicly released are incredible women. I think they will be constitutionalist judges on the Supreme Court. And just feedback from voters. As I was in my district this weekend knocking on doors, getting out the vote, voters are paying attention and they want to see this seat filled. They want to see us following the Constitution.
Well, you know, the two chambers of Congress, as you know, have unique duties. In the Senate, they get to confirm, after, you know, a little confirmation hearing, judicial nominees. Over in your chamber, the House, you get to do things like impeachment. The Senate gets to vote on it, but you actually get to impeach. Well, yesterday, Nancy Pelosi reminded everybody she can impeach the president anytime she wants. Listen to this podcast.
All right, but I'm going to press you one more time. What is your power to do this? I get the election, but you can get up more, you can speak out more, you can do more impeachments, things like that. Do you have enough power?
Well, we can impeach him every day of the week for anything he does. In fact, for 200,000 people dying. Well, because, look, the American people want to know what we're doing that affects them directly.
Okay.
Okay, so she's combined the pandemic with the SCOTUS pick. But also yesterday, Congresswoman, on MSNBC, I believe, she said that regarding this particular pick and what the Republicans are trying to do, ultimately the Republicans are trying to, what Brian mentioned a moment ago, get rid of the Affordable Care Act, remove women's rights. They want to take away clean air and clean water. She really said this. She also said the Republicans are coming after your children. Protect your children. So it sounds like it's a full court press on the left side against your right side.
Absolutely. And sadly, I am not surprised. Democrats have been talking about impeaching the president since the day he was elected. And I think we're going to hear more of that between now and the November election this year. It is sad. Again, we need to follow the Constitution. The Constitution is very clear. And presidents of both parties have put forth Supreme Court nominations in an election year. And if you look at the historic precedent, many of our justices, including the late Justice Ginsburg, were confirmed in a shorter period of time than this time between now and the election day. But I'm not surprised. Democrats have been obsessed with impeachment. I lived through that on the House Intelligence Committee, and it's increasing desperation. The American people want to make sure we have a functioning government. That is following the Constitution, and the president has that constitutional authority to put forth a name, and of course the Senate will run through the process to advise and confirm.
Congresswoman, yesterday at exactly 24 hours ago, the president was on this program, and he essentially, you know, he'd heard about the suggestion they might impeach him on the Democratic side, and he said, bring it on. Essentially, he was daring them to do that because he said that will destroy them just as people go to the polls, and he will get reelected, and then your party would sweep the House.
He is right. I agree with the president. Again, the American people want to say in this election, the fact that the Democrats rammed through a faulty impeachment this year when the vast majority of people, according to polling, wanted this to be decided at the ballot box. I agree with the president's statement, but I think he's going to win either way. I think momentum and energy is on our side, particularly with the stakes this high when it comes to the Supreme Court. I think what is particularly interesting and hypocritical is Joe Biden still refuses to release his names of potential Supreme Court nominees. The American people deserve transparency on an issue and on nominations of this importance.
So, Elise, you share a name with my mom, her middle name, and my sister, and y'all are all smart women I respect. So I want to talk to you about women's issues. Meghan McCain was on The View yesterday, and she was talking about how Kavanaugh really changed Republicans like herself, said accusations were completely baseless, and it showed that the Democrats on their side will do anything and everything to smear any conservative. There seems to be real bias against the women. The woman who has 7 children is a Catholic, and we're seeing it, and I just don't want her to be Kavanaugh'd because I don't think it's fair. If she is President Trump's choice, she has 7 children, adopted 2 from Haiti, 1 has special needs. How do the Democrats handle this? Will they attack her? They're already attacking her for her Catholic faith. My question is to them, what if it were a Democrat, a woman who's a Democrat from a different faith? Why is it okay to attack if you're a Christian, but not, they would never touch another faith? And what does this look like down the road?
It's not okay, Ainsley, and Democrats love attacking conservative women. That's something that Meghan McCain has experienced. It's something that I've have experienced. So Democrats have to be very careful. They should not run into these smearing politics the way they did with Brett Kavanaugh. And I think that Meghan McCain is spot on saying that watching the politicization of the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and just the baseless accusations, that really backfired, and voters across this country woke up, particularly women voters, as they are excited to see these women's names be put forth. This is the highest court in the land. These are extraordinarily accomplished women, wonderful mothers, and Democrats should not smear their character. They should address, again, follow the Constitution and play the advise and consent role rather than the politicization.
So, Elise, Congressman, I should check in with you on this, too, because the President of the United States has been told by Joe Biden, this is the Trump years. Don't blame me for the anarchy in these cities. But most of them are demanding things from their Democratic mayors who are allowing them to go off the reservation and wreck these urban environments, as well as the governors. So the president put in federal agents, and that was ridiculed and targeted in Portland. So now he's doing something else. The Attorney General through the Justice Department is doing this. He said, quote, "We cannot allow federal dollars to be wasted when the safety of the citizenry hangs in the balance. It is my hope that the cities identified by the Department of Justice today will reverse course and become serious about performing the basic function of government and start protecting their own citizens." What happened is he named Seattle, Portland, and New York. He said, you're not in your state. You're not protecting the people. I'm not going to give you federal dollars until you start doing it. Has he overstepped his bounds?
No, we have seen the lawlessness in New York City and cities across the country. And the fact of the matter is New York City has threatened and is slashing their support and funding for law enforcement. They are trying to defund the police. We've seen an extraordinarily sad skyrocketing of crime, of shooting, of rioting and looting. The president has every right, and the Department of Justice should make sure that our cities are investing in our law enforcement to have safe and secure communities. Just look at the facts. The fact that Mayor de Blasio has verbally attacked law enforcement, has allowed this to happen. The Department of Justice should make investments in cities that are holding up their end of the bargain, which means investing in law enforcement so that we have the rule of law.
Well, the Attorney General certainly has gotten their attention with the anarchist jurisdictions. Elise Stefanik, we thank you very much for joining us today from the D.C. area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. 8 to 12.